Welcome to Social Anxiety Solutions, your journey to social confidence. My name is Sebastiaan Van Der Schrier, and I am interviewing today Tapas Fleming on the power of TAT. Um, Before we get into that, I will share a little bit of my own story, how I got into contact with it, how it's been helpful for me and people I've worked with. And then by the end, if you pay careful attention, then she will guide you through an experience of it. So make sure you stick around for that. So, TAT, I originally bought the EFT DVDs, and this must have been 2006 or something like that. And there I saw Tapas, who came to demonstrate her energy psychology technique. And there she worked with people. That was my first introduction to them. Like, wow, okay, looks interesting, but I'm here mostly for the tapping. And then once I was properly introduced to it is a couple of years ago, because I had some personal sessions with Tapas myself, because I saw, wow, this is a very simple technique and a very powerful technique. And I can see how I can use this also for both my clients one-on-one, but also in groups. So I want to learn this for myself. And then we had a bunch of sessions together, which was very powerful. And I've also since been using it a lot myself. Now, I don't have social anxiety anymore, but I do have a host of other issues that come up. And I'll give you an example of where it's been really, really helpful. I'm in a 3-year relationship now. And at the beginning of my relationship, after about 36 hours, I would get a feeling of, get away from me. I need to be alone now. And I would have like a real aggressive feeling, like very avoidant and pushing away. I would use it on that, and that would make that feeling go away in 20 minutes or so. I've had to deal with a court case where I was very unfairly treated, involving the mother of my daughter, which would bring up furious anger, yeah, murderous rage. I wouldn't actually act on it, but I would feel it. And then I would do the TAT procedure, and 25, 30 minutes later, it would bring me from a 10 down to a 2. And, I can tell you endless stories, but we'll leave some for later. Anyway, I've been using it for myself, and then I started using it with my clients. I got certified in it last year, and I've been using it in group sessions inside our social confidence club as well. And to kick things off properly, I'd like to read to you 3 comments that were made in our group WhatsApp after we had done TAT sessions, which we've done a whole bunch of. So here we go. Number 1, totally helpful this session today. I had made a date with some people today and I didn't feel like going at all, something I experience often. After the TAT session, I was so relaxed and looking forward to seeing them. I had a great day with them and I enjoyed it a lot. So cool. Thank you, Seb. Next. I had an argument with my partner and felt super stuck in my emotions, completely in freeze mode, and I couldn't get out. The topic was already discussed and there was nothing to be upset about anymore, really. I decided to do the TAT process on this, and after it, I felt open and calm, ready to connect again. That would usually take many hours or a night of sleep to happen. Saved our day. And the last one, not the least one, it's been almost a week, and I can now say that I think the TAT session helped me a lot. I feel a general sense of well being, and negative emotions pass through me instead of getting stuck. The last time I felt like this was when I was on Lexapro. All right, there you go. Very inspiring little testimonials of real changes that people experienced, and they experienced that using a technique that I've learned from Tapas. So it's my honor to introduce to you Tapas Fleming. Mini introduction. She's the creator of the TAT technique, Tapas Acupressure Technique. She's a licensed acupuncturist and the founder of this technique. And she's helped thousands of people worldwide find emotional relief, heal past traumas, and live with greater confidence, ease, and joy. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, Seb. Happy to be
Yes,
here and talk with you and
yes.
everybody.
Right. So I got the official introduction out of the way. Um,
Hmm.
I just told you earlier, I haven't been interviewing for a long time. So I look forward to this, and I'm happy that you're the first one to kick things off again.
Thanks.
Uh,
And if you
yes.
want to redo anything, happy to right
Awesome.
on today. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, well, good.
Hmm.
All right. So first question. How did this come about? Because it's interesting for people listening, a little bit of what the backstory is. What is TAT and how was it developed? Can you maybe share that story?
Here, love too. The real back of the story is by the time I was in my 20s, I'd had several boyfriends who all turned out to have qualities like my dad that I totally didn't like.
Hmm.
And I felt like all I really want is a great boyfriend, a great relationship. And how come, even though I see what the patterns are, see what's going on in the relationship, I just keep getting into these same relationships. So that was in the back of my mind. Really wanted to solve that. And also, I was pregnant. I had twins. One died before birth, the other died on his due date, like 100 days later. And shortly after that, one of my friends said, I think you might like to learn acupuncture. So I did that. I just felt like I needed something different to focus on in my life. So I did that and I learned an allergy technique and became an acupuncturist, was doing that mainly in my practice. And one of my clients said, I'm allergic to salt. And I thought, oh my God, how do you live with a salt allergy?
I,
Right? Anyway, so after I did this technique, I'd learned and modified some at that point. She said, I've been in therapy for 9 years, and this is the first time I can think of all of that, and there's no emotional charge on it. She said I was sexually abused in a bar. And afterwards, every time I was given a bag of potato chips, and it was like, I went, oh my God, ding, the salt of the potato chips. And what had happened to her was all like her body going, no, this is all bad for me. So she totally got over all of that, no charge on it, and also no longer allergic to salt. And I realized in that moment, my prayers, which I had made many of, have been answered. It means I can take this new approach I've come up with and help myself get over the childhood stuff that keeps me locked in this same pattern in relationships. I was taking a nap on my big acupuncture table on a slow day. And when I woke up, this teaching from one of my professors at acupuncture school was with me, which is that these 2 points, just immediately above the upper inner corner of each eye, like that, um, they have all the acupuncture meridians merge and enter the brain right there. And I thought, well, since this meridian is what I'm using to help people with allergies, maybe I could help them more by me touching these 2 points. And they got over stuff faster. And then a couple of months later, I was showing this to a patient of mine. And he said, oh, my little old Tai Chi master from China told me to touch here and also this point here, midline, just above eyebrow level, to get over headaches and other problems. And I thought, well, okay, great, I'll try that. And that just helped people get over things faster. And then months after that, a friend was telling me about how our eyes are the king sense. Like if our eyes see a dog, but we're hearing a cow, we're going to go, that's a dog. I'm seeing a dog. So she was saying how back here is the brain's vision center. So I added that in to this and found out that it helped people get over allergies faster, and it also could be used directly for traumas. I found out that what I had come up with would just dissolve the stress right out of a trauma very fast. And it would also make it so that a person isn't stuck in some other time and place. They can actually arrive and be who they are right in the here and now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be pretending like I'm clueless, right? Um, so
Uh-huh.
how did the lady with the salt allergy get over the salt allergy? She just held these 2 points,
Mm,
or
yeah. She by that time, ah, I was holding those 2 points for her and telling her statements to help her get over her allergy to salt. That was like about 35 years ago or so, something like that.
gotcha.
And 1993. So I don't remember the exact words I said to her. But by now, what's happened is that I'm basically saying, holding these points plus this and the other hand back there, just saying that everything that led up to your being essentially stuck in this allergy, all that happened. And then the opposite of that happened, it's over and you're okay. So I have words that are more comprehensive than that, but that's the short of it. These points are kind of like a USB port, and when you plug in something and deliver new information, like download it, everything changes. It's kind of like giving your whole body and mind 2.0 info on whatever app you have running. So a person's body and mind actually can receive the information, and a person's actual physiology changes and
Mm,
their thoughts and feelings change, like you could hear referred to in those three quotes that you read. It's like
mm,
that. Yeah, it's
got it.
amazing, really, because, like, imagine if you could talk to yourself and the things you want your feelings to know and your body to know and how you want to be when you're with people. With TAT, you can say those things to yourself, and your whole system gets it. A lot of times, okay, there are traumas involved that need several steps. We'll do a short version at the end of this podcast, but it's delivering new information in a way that your mind, body, emotions get it, and everything updates. I've had people who are so allergic to stuff that it would kill them if they ate it, do this, and they can now eat it. They would be like the only person in their family who could eat that.
It sounds like what you're saying is like when we hold this particular pose,
Mhm.
um, it allows for whatever you're saying in that pose to be communicated on a deeper level. And, where people maybe teach positive self-talk, which you do without any poses, doesn't really go in that deeply. But with TAT, it can go in more deeply.
It goes in to the core. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, your cells can hear what you're saying, your brain, your nervous system, your stomach. You can talk directly to your stomach and give additional information to your stomach, like how to relax when you're wanting to be with people.
When I first found tapping, I was like, yeah, right. You're tapping on your face and body, and you're saying phrases. I already thought like, come on now. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah,
When people hear this, well, you hold this pose and then you got to talk to yourself, and they're like,
yeah,
well, it's, how am I supposed to believe that? What would you
yeah.
say to them?
I'd say you don't have to believe it. Just try it out and see what is your actual experience.
Mm.
You are the authority over you. So find out what's real. But think about it. Computers have all kinds of ports. Don't you think our bodies would have ports for delivering information in really deep ways? That's what, I mean, it's amazing. It still is amazing to me. And I'm still like, oh my gosh, about
Hmm.
every day when I'm doing sessions. So yeah, I
Yep.
found it.
Yep.
Found it after a dream, after waking up and going, oh my gosh, I'll try it. Yeah.
It is amazing, yes, and it works
Yeah.
consistently. And when I do it in a group form, and we have a whole screen full of people,
Hmm.
um, right? And we'll have them pick a particular issue. We do the pose. We go
Yeah.
through it. 20 minutes later, 15 minutes later, I say, okay, everyone, please write in the chat window what you're experiencing, and it's
Mm.
pretty consistent. Calmer, lighter, more at ease, doesn't bother me so much anymore. It's further away. I feel more relaxed. I don't feel so serious anymore. Sometimes things that are hard to believe, you just need to experience it. Take your skepticism and do it anyway. That's the way to figure out whether something actually works for you. And there you
Yeah,
go.
totally. I totally agree, Seb. You can completely keep your skepticism. That's fine.
Yeah. All right. And so what can someone expect during a session? What do they do? Someone comes into your office, say, and
Hmm.
like, hello, Tapas, I am anxious whenever I'm the center of attention. So
Yeah.
how are we going to do this TAT thing? How are you going to help me fix this? What can they expect?
Yeah, well, one of the really cool things is they can expect they don't have to talk anymore about it. In fact, they don't even have to say one word about it. They can just be thinking about it to themselves. They don't have to tell me anything. And we just agree, okay, this is the thing we're working on today. We make a big intention of like, this is on behalf of you, your family, your ancestors, and there's more to that. And then they do the TAT pose, and I say statements to them. And what those statements really do is talk to parts of them that are stuck in some other time and place, which we don't have to identify either, and just give them new information like, hey, basically, that's over. You can relax now. Um, all the origins of this are healing now. So there are basic statements that all the information comes in, and it even includes information, like I just said, about things that a person is carrying because they inherited it from ancestors. So all kinds of stuff is addressed. Usually, what a person can expect is that they feel lighter and happier by the end of it.
Mhm.
And whatever the problem is, it's almost, I'll say 99.999% of the time, just to say it's not 100%, they're feeling better. It may be like with social anxiety, there are different aspects, like maybe something happened in school to a person, and then we could just work on that event. But no, they don't say anything. I read them things. Well, actually, I have them memorized, but
Yes.
I say statements, and every now and again, I'll just ask the person, "So, what did you notice?" And if they want to, they can tell me, and if they don't, they just keep it to themselves. And then at the end, they make a choice, like what they want in real time, a positive, like, it's now easy for me to feel comfortable being myself with other people. Something like that. And we say some statements while they're in the pose that strengthen that and do an integration, and that's it. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So just to summarize, so
Mm-hmm.
they come in, they share whatever their issue is they would like to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Then you instruct them to sit in this particular pose. While they're sitting in this pose, you say statements, and those statements go deep to the core of where the root of the issue lies. And you do not even know what the root of the issue is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the beautiful things about TAT. And then you're saying, I'm talking to the parts. So what do you mean by that? You're talking to the
Mm.
parts that are
Yeah.
younger, that are holding on to the trauma that caused or contributed to the problem? What's happening there?
Yeah. So when I say parts, it means a few things. It means parts of your body. Like I said before, if you have social anxiety, maybe your stomach clamps up, or maybe your physical heart pounds hard. Maybe you sweat. These are physical parts of you. And then you have parts of you that are like childhood parts. Like I said before, maybe something happened in school that was so embarrassing that it just stuck with you. So what happens then is you have a part of you that is still stuck with 30 kids laughing at you and the teacher um, putting you down, making fun of you or something. So that part of you is still in that other time and place, continually having that as a reference to who you are, how your life is, how you're supposed to be. So that would be one part. Another part might be, hey, you grew up and uh, your girlfriend made some derogatory comment to you about how you are, who you are, what you said, and then that sticks. Or maybe your parents were always saying, you're stupid, you'll never make anything of yourself. Or you don't deserve to talk to people because you aren't enough. That's so common with people. Or you're not perfect. Or maybe you got beat up for being physically, for not being perfect. All that stuff ends up with parts of yourself that are looking at life from that perspective, from those moments. So as Seb said, one of the beautiful things of TAT is we don't even need to know what those are. We just are talking to the parts, giving all those parts new information that essentially that happened, it's over, you're not stuck there anymore, and you can be present with me in here and now. You can like take it
Mm,
easy. Everything's okay right now. And amazingly and wonderfully, what happens is those parts get the information and they relax. So one thing that's pretty common doing like an hour session with TAT is that you can feel really tired after that. And it's because you've been so like tight and tied up, trying to be perfect, trying to say the right thing, trying to look a certain way. All that to try to be acceptable, all that stuff is exhausting. So once it's gone, your body goes, I'm very tired now. And
yep.
that's just normal.
Yeah, excellent. A sign
Mhm.
that things are working. Yep.
For sure. Yep.
To add on a good example of that, a lot of people have been bullied, for example,
Hmm.
and a you might have been bullied when you were 15. Well, then at 15, like some part of you split off and got frozen in time. So to take me as an example, a 15-year-old Seb, um, I still have some kind of a identity of 15-year-old me stuck and frozen in time. And then when we do the TAT pose, um, we then have easy communication. That's kind of how I see it. We
Hmm.
kind of have easy communication with that part and all other parts related to whatever the problem is that I'm working on. And we're updating 15-year-old Seb. Hey, Seb, you're stuck in time. You've been bullied, but the bullying is over. It's not happening anymore. You don't have to hold on to that. You can just join me in the present moment, and it's safe and okay to do that. And however odd it sounds, that actually happens. And then, indeed, what Tapas says, you feel calmer, you feel more relaxed.
Yeah.
It's an awesome process. So probably what some people's minds like, well, do I have to do that with a practitioner? Can I do that by myself as well? What would you say
Yeah.
to that?
It is easier with someone who's a certified TAT professional like Seb, because there's just something magical about doing it with someone else. And there are things Seb knows so he could guide you in places you might find yourself stuck. Like sometimes we'll just have thoughts like, this can never heal, forget it. And Seb knows how to dissolve that away so you can keep going. Those kind of
Mm.
thoughts just rule us a whole lot. And you can do it for yourself, by yourself, and still have really, really excellent results.
I talk most about tapping, and I do that. I have been doing that strategically because it has the most scientific backing, and some people just want that. Um,
Yeah.
but I specialize in other modalities, and TAT being one of them. And this also definitely is something that you can do by yourself. And it's like Tapa says, yes, with a practitioner, pretty much always better, but there is real power in being able to do it by yourself. And little bits of it even help, which you'll see as you follow along at the end of this, or once we've gotten a bit more clear on everything that this is. So, Tapas, my next question on my list of questions is, how do you think TAT is different from EFT, or where is it similar and where is it different? Sure, you've
Mm.
got this question asked over the years.
I have. And I'm not an EFT or tapping practitioner, so I just have
Mm,
very limited experience, but I have many friends like you who do tapping. So one of the things that's different is with TAT, you never have to even say one word, and you can get fantastic results.
mm,
There's no digging with TAT, and I believe with tapping there is, like, where did this come from? Also, of course, I'm in love with TAT. I think it's great, but one of the things too is you can go through the whole process without feeling anything and still get great results. You don't have to be in touch with what happened in your feelings or your thoughts or anywhere. You can just do the process uh, and get great results. What's similar is they both use meridian systems, acupuncture meridian systems, and they're both definitely body mind approaches. And they both work. That's similar.
yeah, right. And
So, yeah,
and a lot of EFT masters are also TAT practitioners,
they are.
right? Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yep. If they know what's
Both
good
ends of
for them.
the
Haha.
exactly. All right. So, Tapas, do you have any experience working with people with social anxiety disorder?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a really great story, actually. I was doing weekly webinars and people were working on their own thing. So there was one woman who came. She didn't have her screen dark, but she'd sit far away from her camera and her room was very dark. So all of us could barely see her at all. And as
Mm,
the months went by, she kept sitting closer and closer. And then she had the light on and we could see her face. And then she had these really cute glasses she wore and really cool hair things happening. And pretty soon after that, she never came anymore because she was out with friends all the time. So that
nice.
was a real change. And I have one more short story for you. My
Please.
sister was very socially anxious, very. And after I worked with her one time about it, she told me, now when I'm walking down the street, people are just looking at me and smiling. I guess it's just really touching because it's my sister. So everything
Mm,
changed. That's one of the
mm,
really amazing things about doing TAT is that when you change your whole what you're putting out there, your energy, your feelings, your invitation to other people changes and
yeah,
their behavior changes. It's pretty amazing.
it is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that and bringing that up.
Yeah.
I think that also points to something important when, like, often it's not the outside world that is the problem. though it may seem that it's the outside world that is the problem. How am I supposed to feel relaxed? Everyone is mean. Everyone's out to get me. Nobody likes me. Okay, um, what if that actually is your belief system and based upon the things that happen to you, and these parts are stuck in time, and that's why you're perceiving that? And what if when you change that inside with something like TAT, your whole experience of the world begins to change because you're no longer seeing that people are mean and out to get you. And as a result, you have a different vibe, a different energy. You have more confidence and more ease that you bring to the table. And then people start naturally responding differently to you. This is what I love about um, energy psychology. Um, yes, I like to combine the best of psychology because sometimes psychology is very helpful and sometimes even necessary. But if you do not combine it with energy psychology, like, this is like a world of difference. It's not about just changing your thoughts and then forcing yourself while you're anxious into situations, trying to gather positive social experiences. Yes, that helps a bit, but it's very hard to do. If you, before a social situation, first clear your fear and anxiety, and then you're in a social situation, and then you have that different energy and you're more confident and you're more at ease, then it's so much easier to gather positive social experiences and build a new idea of who you are and who you can be socially. Yeah, absolutely. And I think
Yeah.
your story also illustrates very well that sometimes it is one session and there's an amazing life-changing transformation. And other times, as discussed earlier, there can be many aspects to the problem, and it will take a series of sessions and inner work to over time gradually chip away at the layers of the problem. But even just one session will make you feel better. It will tackle a part of the issue at the very least. You'd be amazed at what's possible with this stuff. It's really fantastic. So with that big lead in, maybe yeah, I don't want to, we've built it up too much now. We're only going to do a tiny bit, but can you maybe guide us through a little experience of it?
Sure, sure. So, as I'm saying it, you don't have to repeat it silently or out loud. Your part is just sort of come along for the ride and notice whatever you happen to notice, which may be nothing, and that's okay too. And you may see that there are results in your life after without really noticing much of anything happening. So, the first thing we'll do is a big intention. Uh, it's beautiful because it includes a lot of people who could benefit from this. So the first thing we'll do is actually the heart pose. That's just palm over palm, whichever on top.
And do
You're,
people choose something big or something small, or
oh, I'll get there. And thank you.
you get there? Okay,
Yeah, yeah. We'll just do this first, this
right.
piece of it. Okay. This healing's on behalf of you, your whole family, all your ancestors, your conscious and subconscious mind, all the parts of you, all the points of view you have ever been identified with, for all beings involved, all beings who would like to benefit, and it will happen in a way that is safe and easy. Okay, so what you can do is choose something that's like small to medium sized. If you work with Seb, then you can choose something bigger in case you get into the middle of something and you need some more help getting to the other side. So, choosing something meaning, well, there was this time that this happened, and I still feel bad about it when I think about it right now, related to whatever you want. And
Can I
as
give
we're,
some suggestions?
oh, sure, of course.
Yeah. So since it's people with social anxiety, something easy to pick is a shitty social situation that you've been in that isn't incredibly horrible, the most horrendous thing you've ever experienced, but maybe something that when you think about it now still bothers you to some degree. And tapas, does it matter? Because you're only going to do a little bit. Does it matter how strongly intense they feel when they think about it on a scale of 0 to 10?
No, because likely they're gonna be feeling better. So if they want to feel better about something, maybe not all the way, because we're just doing a few minutes, just to get your toes into it and see what you think, see what you feel.
Right.
Okay, so now what you do for the TAT pose is you use your thumb and ring finger, and it's a very light touch, no pressure at all, immediately above the upper inner corner of each eye. So I can feel my tear ducts at the bottom side of my fingers. And then you put your middle finger between midline, between a little bit above eyebrow level, and your other hand goes at the base of your head so that your thumb is above hairline. Your hand isn't down on your neck at all. It's just above hairline. That's the TAT pose. And if, as we're doing this, you feel dizzy or hot in your head or like too much energy, just do the heart pose right then and there. Okay. Everything that led up to my resonating, identifying, and connecting with this happened. All that happened, it's over. And I no longer resonate, identify, or connect with this. All the origins of this are healing now. And we don't need to know what started this all off. We're just making this intention. All the origins of this are healing now. All the places in my mind, body, and life where this has been stored or stuck are healing now. It's safe, possible, and okay for all you parts of me to look with my physical eyes, hear with my physical ears, feel with my skin, feel with my heart, and notice that in this very moment, nothing bad is happening, and I'm not in any immediate danger of something bad happening. It's safe, possible, and okay for all parts of me to rest, relax, and recover right in the here and now. And please do the heart pose again. And think of something you would like to choose, like to be your real experience right now. For instance, um, I can really, I'm finding that I'm now relaxed about that. Or it's possible that I am relaxed about that right now and I have more ease in social situations. Or I can imagine that I could feel better and better socially for real. Whatever. So I'll be quiet for a few seconds and you choose something you would like to be real for you. So now, related to what you chose, please do the TAT pose again. This is possible for me. I like this. This feels great. I completely allow and accept this. I see and feel myself living this now. I know how to be, have, do, and accept this, and I'm being, having, doing, and accepting this now. I'm grateful for this. This is completely integrated now with my grateful thanks. And then switch hands front to back and back to front, the same TAT pose. This is completely integrated now with my grateful thanks. And then put your fingertips snuggled up around your ears. So your thumb's behind your earlobe and all your fingers are touching the back of your ear, each side. This is completely integrated now with my grateful thanks. And the heart pose again. I completely allow and accept this healing and transformation in my heart and whole being with my grateful thanks. So check it out and see, do you feel different now when you think about whatever you decided to work on compared to when you first thought of it? So you might feel more relaxed, you might feel more sense of ease or peace or lightness. These are typical things. So this was a very short taste, and I hope it has served you, even though it was really, really short.
Awesome. Thank you
Hmm.
for that little demo. There's nothing like experiencing something versus just hearing about it. And
Yeah.
I like what you said as well. Sometimes you don't necessarily feel something right away in the moment, but go about your life and see how it is. I've also had sessions that I know, okay, I'm going to focus on this. I don't have any charge on this per se, but I'm just going to do it. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, well, I've done it. You know,
Mm. Yeah.
and then I went about my life and I saw, hey, this is um, a profound yet very subtle shift has happened, but I notice I'm more easygoing here. So
Yeah.
that can happen. Great. Thank you for that. Topas, um, I'd like to ask this question at the end of the interview. I haven't interviewed in a long time. And by the way, um, I felt a little less free, perhaps, than I normally am. I need to be a little bit on point here. I've got questions that I need to ask. This first, I'm going to interview again. But we did the process, and I feel calmer, right? I feel a bit more present. So there you go, a little bit.
Yay.
Um,
Yay.
Yes. Um,
Hmm.
so this question I used to ask way back when I started interviewing.
Yeah.
What's one thing I could have asked you that if I had asked it to you, it would have allowed you to share something important or relevant?
Mm-hmm.
What would that question have been and how would you have answered it?
Yeah. Is there a spiritual aspect to this? And what is it?
Great, go ahead, answer it.
Okay. Yeah, there is. When we get stuck in other times, places, events, parts of us are stuck there. What happens when we communicate to these parts? Hey, you don't have to be stuck there. The reason we feel more peace, more lightness, is because our own true nature is spiritual, is light. We're experiencing more of our own presence and ease, just ah, who we are is absolutely pure, lovable, more than acceptable, wonderful. And it just, TAT just helps us get there piece by piece, more and more. And also, I didn't do it in our demo, but there are a couple of places where we can add um, God, whatever name is a person's favorite, or
Universe or source
universe, or yes, yes,
or
Mother
that which makes
Nature.
the plants grow.
Yeah,
You're one like
flowers,
that at the people as
flowers.
well. Oh,
Yes,
flowers.
whatever makes flowers grow. Yeah, so that's what's doing this. It isn't. anything but that. It's a really natural process, and us becoming not tied up with all of the fears and anxiety. We're just ourselves and people. We want each other. We want to experience who is this person, and we love to share who we are.
Mm,
It's because our own nature is love. And my experience with TAT is that that's what we have more: love, ease, purity, simplicity, just plain old happiness. Yeah.
connection. Yep.
Connection. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I asked the question. It was a good, it was a good question to end things on.
Yeah.
So Tapas, if people want to learn more about you and your work, where would they go?
tatlife.com. Yeah.
Nice and easy. Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Thank you very much for doing the interview and sharing TAT. It's changed my life. It's changed the life of the people that I've worked with, and
Ah,
it's fantastic. So thank you very much for what you do.
that's beautiful
Thank
to
you.
hear. Thank you for telling me, and thanks for giving me this opportunity to share my heart, myself with you and
Mm.
your listeners.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that interview with Tapas and the guided experience that we did. TAT is amazing and it works really well alongside tapping inside the Social Confidence Club. We combine it. Sometimes we do tapping, other times we do TAT, depending on what it is that we're working on, what we're focusing on. Both are fantastic. And if you're interested in joining the club, we're going to open very soon in 2 to 3 weeks from now, third week of February, we will open the club. And then it's only open for 1 week, after which we close for a whole year. So this is the time to come and join us. For pre-registration, you can go to bit.ly/social confidence club. Inside the club, we focus on specific social anxiety issues like facial blushing, fear of becoming anxious, fear of being seen anxious, fear of negative judgment, fear of embarrassing yourself, beliefs like I'm not good enough, protective patterns like perfectionism, people pleasing, shame, bullying issues, etc. Anything and everything that you can imagine related to social anxiety, we're addressing it. So if that sounds like something you want to be part of, we then combine the best of psychology with the best of energy psychology, tapping, TAT, and more. Go to bit.ly/social confidence club. That's bit.ly/social confidence club. See you there.